Welcome to NFL Pub Hub right here on Pub Sports Radio. Happy Sunday to all of you. Week 11 kickoff is 2 hours away, and we have 8 cappers on today's show, not the regular 7. We have 2 cappers making their NFL Pub Hub debuts here, and we also have our leader getting Billy Brisbane continued his streak of winning shows all season long. He's been in the black on the show. Every single time he's been here, 6 different episodes he's been on, he's been in the black. But Bobano, hot on his trail, right behind him. Brizzy, though, 11.83 units, 16 and 5 on this show. He's been absolutely spectacular. Bobano, 45 and 31. About a little over a unit behind in second place. Spenny Pennybombs in third. He will be rolling with us as well today. I'm excited. I'm pumped up, man. I'm excited. I'm excited about today's show. Shout out to all the cappers joining us. Trotwam in the house on Jets plus 3.5 and plus 160. That will make our first guest very happy. Professor Chris says, I also like the Jets with that hook. Wham. Justin McElvey ready to get to work. There is Nuke Worker in the house. Burgundy Bets, Razor, Sharp Picks, Brian McNulty, Bo Jackson, MDR 24, Walla Walla Dose, Big Show in the house. Big Show Picks, by the way, Big Show Picks, man. 10-0 last 2 weeks, 5-0, 5-0 in our Cappers contest. Jonathan Yim says, you look rested and happy. I am happy. I'm not rested. I drove back from Niagara Falls this morning. I got the cheap parking, so I had to dig myself out with a pylon. And I made it home very easily without snow tires. Yet they can't play a game in Buffalo. I was right across the water from Buffalo with no snow tires, and everything's fine. Everything's just fine. But I'm pumped up to be here, and I did have a very fun weekend with the family. B-Lab69, Bama Boy, B-Ball, Starchild, Tori Coker, Sean, Serious Business, Slatsy says going right back to Fields rushing yards prop. Well, you guys, let's go over a couple things here. I started out the week, cashed that over very easily on Thursday night, but added the Packers -3 like a schmuck. So I lost a little bit of vig. My Buffalo Bills bet has been voided, of course, with the location change. So I only have 5 bets left on today's card. This week's card. I have Rams Saints under 39. I have the Rams team total under 16.5. I have Raiders Broncos under 41.5. Cowboys Minnesota over 47.5, and the Steelers plus 4.5. And I tell you, I'm very interested in the Broncos and the Patriots, but haven't made any moves yet. There's Brant Hunt rolling with us. Serious Business, Danny Lopez, Starchild, Vipe, Nunya. It's great to see you guys. I love this show. We have all these great cappers giving us their best sides, totals, and player props. We track every single pick, and the group has been very good this year. Very, very good. Trotwam trying to get me off of the Patriots. It's not going to happen, Trotwam. Not yet. But you're on your way. There's Coin in the house. Betters Bet. We have Alec making his debut. Hey, Alec making his debut. You've probably seen him in the chat. He's also with Betters Bet. He's going to be joining us, making his debut. Mr. Always Profit, ready to go. Sky Dragon says, goal, Ecuador. The World Cup is on, but we care about a different football. We care about the pigskin here. We care about the violent football. We want violence today. So we're not watching the World Cup. We're watching our football. Let's get to work right now. By the way, Circa Millions, Pub Sports Radio, cashed with their first pick, Titans plus 3.5. 83% of the backers were voted on that. We are now 28, 21 and 2. Don't look now, but we're on the rise, baby. 28, 21 and 2 is not a bad number at this point in the contest. Let's fucking go. Let's go. Todd Hilton ready to go. Teflon Don ready to go. Kevin Lee ready to go. Your first guest would be in 36th place in the Circa Millions if he had entered with the picks that he's used in the Cappers contest. He is succeeding at such a rate that we pulled him out the booth. He is our producer. We pulled him out the booth and brought him on to the show, making his NFL Pub Hub debut the producer of this show, in first place in our Cappers contest. Please welcome Jose Bouquet. Jose, how are you?
To not be dramatic, I want to throw myself off a balcony and land head first, but we're doing okay.
You sound like a gambler, and that's okay. That's okay because every day provides new possibilities, and you got a big one on your hands to get this rolling. Let's get to work right now. Jose, 1 p.m. Eastern, New York Jets at New England Patriots. Jets 6-3, 4-0 on the road. These Patriots 5-4, 2-2 at home. We're at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. And Jose, it is very windy across North America today, and there is no exception in Foxborough, 19 miles per hour. But your Jets run game is really strong, right? So there's no concern that you can't throw the ball in 19.
Life is full of disappointments after last night, Jimmy, and it's all I expect nowadays. It's just disappointments, whether it's be from your family or your football teams. It's just disappointment.
Oh, Jesus. Patriots opened up at Pinnacle at -4, -106. Right now they're -3.5 at +100 at even money. From a total standpoint, they opened up at 39. It's now at 38. When we take a look at the cash flow here in this one, a big division battle here. 49,971 tickets in, 49% of the tickets, 64% of the cash on the Patriots. 65% of the cash, 96%, 65% of the tickets, 96% of the cash on the under. So a ton of cash on this under, and it's dropped a point. I am using this in the Cappers contest with the Patriots. Jose, you have Sheldon Rankins and Corey Davis out. You have your tight end doubtful. You're fine there. The Patriots have Jake Bailey, their punter, out or doubtful at this point. Defensive tackle Christian Barmore out. Anthony Jennings, Devontae Parker, and Josh Uke all questionable. Take it away. The floor is yours. This is your first spot on NFL Pub Hub. Let's see if you can carry on what you've done in the Cappers contest. Take it away.
Yeah, I think everyone knows where I'm going with this. I'm still extremely angry, bitter, frustrated about losing my whole account on Oklahoma State last night. I will be redepositing after the show. Fucking bullshit, motherfuckers. But I'm obviously going to take the Jets here. I'm taking them +3.5 money line. I'll be doing that with most of my picks on the show. That's what I do in my actual NFL betting. And for the motherfucker, I think it was Mr. Always Profit asking, so they even bet on the NFL? 32-16-3, Mr. Always Profit. Suck my nuts. Fucking 60-70% in the NFL. Do this shit with my eyes closed. The fucking Patriots suck. Mac Jones is horrible. Zach Wilson also bad. But guess what? Big Bob Saleh knows what he's doing with this football team. Is a good football team, a better football team than the Patriots, excuse me. Zach Wilson, not good. He's on the Spencer Sanders level for me right now of just being an asshole and sucking. But guess what? The goal of the day is don't let Zach Wilson beat you. Don't let Zach Wilson beat you, and the Jets can win this game very easily. Jets win outright, and the Jets make the playoffs. Thank you, Dave Beckett.
Okay. All right. Jose is locked in. Jets +3.5 -108. And the Jets +161. We move on to the next spot on your card. 1 p.m. Eastern. Chicago Bears 3-7, 1-4 on the road at Atlanta Falcons 4-6, 3-2 at home. We're at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. We have for the Bears, Dane Cruikshank, defensive back, and N'Keal Harry illness out. But they have Tevin Jenkins and Al-Qadim Muhammad on their injury report. They were full participants on Friday. They're going to be good to go. This Falcons team is pretty healthy. A.J. Terrell and Eric Harris did practice this week and are expected to be in the lineup. We're at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and we know what's happening here. The public is all over the Chicago Bears. And that +3 has become more juiced. There was times you could get that +3 at even money. Right now it's at -121, so it looks like looks like some of the books are maybe a little concerned about all the Bears money they've taken. 49.5 was the opening total. It's now at 48.5. When we go over to the cash flow here, these Bears, 73,690 tickets, 70% of the tickets, 70% of the cash on the Bears. And then 44% of the tickets, 57% of cash on that under. And I know that there's a lot of people betting the Bears and betting the over. What are you doing here? Jose Bouquet, Bears Falcons.
The exact opposite. I'm taking the Falcons -3. They're going to cash my season win total today. I can't really tell you they're not a better football team than the Bears. I'll be honest. Like top to bottom. Well, I mean, maybe Justin Fields is just coloring that image because I really think that this is going to be like Army Navy as well. This is going to be run the ball fest. So I'm also going to go ahead and take the under officially as well. 49.5, 50, whatever we can get right now. I think, first of all, obviously the Falcons being at home is a good advantage for them. They're probably a better home team than a road team, just on the face of it, if you think about football. Justin Fields has been great these last couple of weeks, but I mean, I'm not the only one that saw the last drive of the game against the Lions when they were like, all right, you know what? You just ran for 61 yards. You need to go the whole field in like 30 seconds. How about we just don't rush anyone? Let's just drop everyone back. Let him beat him with the arm. Didn't go anywhere really in that last drive. I expect the Falcons to do something like that. Just covers, quarterback spy, because after 2 weeks of running for the most yards a quarterback has ever run for, I mean, it doesn't take a fucking rocket scientist to say put a QB spy on that big bastard. So I'll take the Falcons -3. I think they win the game, obviously, cover. And I think this is going to be the first game to finish today as well. So if you've got that prop out there, first game to finish today, because I think this game is going to be run, and it'll lead towards an under. So under -3 officially for the game, for the show.
The -3 is at +110.
Beautiful.
Okay, you got that locked in. The under 49 we can give you at -112.
Take it.
You are in business, Jose. Your final spot on the board, our leader in the Cappers contest, would be 36th in that circa millions if he was.
Can you imagine? What would I do with myself? That would be the only thing I think about. I'd be horrible at my job.
You have Bengals, Steelers next up. Acrisure Stadium in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 29 Fahrenheit, mostly sunny, 14 miles per hour. Jamar Chase will not return this week. Hip injury out. Defensive tackle Josh Tupu out. Calf muscle. Defensive back Daxton Hill, shoulder out. Trey Flowers is questionable with the hamstring here. And the big point of emphasis here is Minkah Fitzpatrick will return to the lineup just over a week after undergoing an appendectomy.
Hey, I try to tell you guys, if my guy Taryn, Pub Sports Radio producer, if he can come back to work in like 2 days after an appendectomy, why can't he? Why can't fucking Minkah?
It was very exciting that Minkah is back. This team is ready to go, the Steelers squad. The only person out is Akilo Witherspoon. I moved on them at 4.5 on Tuesday. This is your final spot on the board, Jose. The Steelers opened up +4.5, are now +3.5. And this total opened up at 42, has dropped to 40. And Mike Tomlin, as a home underdog since 2007, is 17-3-3 against the spread. Take it away for us, Jose. The floor is yours.
Keep whispering those sweet, sweet nothings. Now, obviously, you can say, oh, that stat has much better quarterbacks. He had Big Ben. No, I'll still trust my guy, Mike Tomlin here. Steelers plus the 3.5 or 4, whichever one we can get. And I'll take Steelers money line as well. TJ Watt, very good at what he does, extremely good at his job. And I think that he's going to make Joe Burrow's life hell again here. I also wouldn't hate, Brandon the Great, you're mentioning the Joe Burrow interception there. I don't hate that as well. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Minkah ended up catching it, because that's how sports work. He comes back with all this injury, and then he's going to do something really great. So I like the Steelers here. I also wouldn't hate an under if you're looking at it, but I like the Steelers to win here. I think that Mr. Kenny Pickett is slowly becoming a better quarterback. I mean, we weren't expecting him to be Andrew Luck first year, so I think he gets slowly better as the time goes on. And obviously, the defense is really what I care about here. I'm going to give a shout out to my guy Clint here. And I know this is a Clint special, and I know it's a fucking money pit, actually. I'm pretty sure he's never won on these before, but I'll also take on top of Steelers money line and the 4 or 3.5. I will probably end up taking Steelers defensive touchdown as well here. This just has strip sack, JJ Watt or TJ Watt. I'm gonna fuck that all the fucking year up. Strip sack, pick six. I just think that the Bengals don't have a good game here, especially in Pittsburgh too. Let's not forget that this was like the first game of the season, and it was a draw, I believe it was. So it was a very close game. So give me the Steelers here. The 4 points just too much. 3-point game.
Well, we can't give you the 4. We'll give you the 3.5 at -107. We'll give you the Steelers money line at +165. Give you the Falcons -3 at +110. The under 49 and -112 in that one. And the Jets +3.5 at -108. And the Jets +161. Our leader in the Cappers contest, making his NFL Pub Hub debut here. We had to have him on. Pull him out the booth. Get him off the ones and twos and in front of the camera. Jose, good luck with your action, my friend. And you do a great job producing this show. And I hope you have continued success in the Cappers contest. Any final words before we have another debut right here on NFL Pub Up?
No, thank you as always. For the people that said they love my energy today, I can tell you this is assuredly the most pissed off and the worst mood I've been in doing a show. I'm extremely annoyed. The Jets are going to murder me, finish me today, and just leave me dead on the street like a $2 hooker. But what if they win? What if they win? Then maybe I'll be a little happy and I can find some light in this dark time. Jimmy, thank you for inviting me on. I'll be in the backstage just continuing to be angry. And good luck to everyone placing bets. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Pub Sports Radio and join the damn membership. The membership helps out Pub Sports Radio in many ways. So it's $4.99 a month. Hit that join button on the YouTube thing, and it'll be great. Otherwise, fuck Oklahoma State and fuck Mike Gundy right to the face.
There you go. Jose Bouquet. Passionate young man. Passionate. Let's bring on your next guest, making his Pub Sports Radio debut here with us from Bettor's Bet. You will recognize his name from the chat. He's been supporting our show for a long time, and it's excited. We're all excited to see him on camera. Please welcome from Bettor's Bet, Alec in the house. Alec, how are you, my man?
Oh, I'm doing great. Excited to be here.
Let's get right to work, Alec. You get your card started with a similar game that young Jose Bouquet hammered. That is the Bears-Falcons. We've already talked about the line history. We've talked about the public on the Bears and the public on the over. How are you attacking this, Alec? The floor is yours.
So I have already seen that the lines moved a little bit against what I had earlier because I had Bears +3.5. I think it's sitting at, 2.5 right now?
Yes, 2.5. If we wanted to, you can mess around here with this Bears line to get it at 2.5, 3, and if you want to see what it is at 3.5 right now, the Bears 3.5 is -145, the Bears +3 is -121, the Bears +2.5 is +101.
Okay. Well, let's take it where the line is. I know the Bears have been hammered, probably for a good reason though. Atlanta's sitting 1-7 in their last 8 against the NFC North. They're 0-6 as conference favorites of less than 9 points versus an opponent with a 33.3% winning percentage. They're also 2-10 as home favorites off back-to-back straight-up losses against the spread. Chicago's 6-0 in this spot as dogs when the line's less than 6 points against the NFC against the NFC South. So, they're trending downwards. They started off the season 6-0 against the spread. They're 0-4 against the spread since. I like the Bears in this spot. And then something interesting I was told at a dinner last night. One of my buddies comes up to me and he's like, hey, did you know that any team that played the Panthers has lost their last game or the next game? And I said, really? He said, yeah, it's the only trend I've seen that's undefeated in the NFL this season, 9-0. I'm looking to see that go 10-0.
Wow, that is a wild angle that I had not heard. Bears plus 2.5 at plus 101 for Alec to get his card started. Next up for you, Alec, New York Jets at New England Patriots, the Jose Bouquet Bowl. How are you betting this one?
I agree with Jose on this spot, even though I feel the same way. I'm relying on these damn Jets again, and I don't want to be dead in the street like a $2 hooker. But I am going to take Jets plus 3.5. They're 13-0 against the spread when they're above 500 as dogs with revenge. We all know that they lost at home against the Patriots by 5. This spread is the exact same as it was when they were at home. That's kind of fishy to me also. They're 15-1 away off of a straight up against the spread win versus a 500 opponent. They beat the Bills last week. They're coming off a bye, but they beat the Bills before the bye. The Patriots are 1-7 in the division as favorites, less than 7 points off back-to-back straight up wins. They beat the Jets. They beat the Colts. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take the Jets plus 3.5 here.
Jets plus 3.5 at minus 108 for Alec. Next up, we have a game that's yet to be spoken about here on NFL Pub. Cleveland Browns 3-6, 1-3 on the road at the Buffalo Bills, 6-3, 3-1 at home. We move to Ford Field in Detroit, Michigan for this one. They have Njoku as questionable. I heard on the radio this morning on my drive back from that area that he will be in the lineup. For the Browns, defensive back DeAnthony Bell, concussion, and guard Michael Dunn back. Defensive tackle Perrion Winfrey head. They are all out. And I expect Njoku. And then you have Greg Newsome also on the injury report. He was limited in practice on Friday. He was not on the report until Friday. But they're both expected to be in the lineup. For the Bills, they have a couple key members out of the lineup, that being middle linebacker Tremaine Edmonds with the groin heel injury and Greg Rousseau with the ankle injury. Jordan Poyer is questionable, but he was a full participant Friday in practice, so he's expected to be on the field. Let's get to the line history here right now. Not a lot of changes when it switched locations. I, of course, lost my over 43 with the location switch. I didn't lose it, but it was voided, of course. Buffalo minus 8.5 is now minus 7.5. And this total is now at 50. It's now at 50, which is closer to what it opened before it dropped all the way down to 41 with the weather, weather issues. Sitting at 50 right now. And it had just popped up to 50. I take that back, actually. It popped up to 50 2 days ago, 5:45 p.m. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this one here. And it's a little confusing because you have tickets from the earlier spot that are counted here, even though we know those are all voided. 75,947 tickets in, 27% of tickets, 62% of the cash on the Browns. The Browns have been getting the sharp action all week. And then who cares about the total because of the change of venue? Take it away for us here, Alec. Browns, Bills.
So I'm actually taking a spot that I don't normally take. I'm taking the Bills by 2.5 in the first quarter. What's that current line sitting at?
I will grab it for you right now. Why don't you keep rolling?
Sounds good. So the Bills have won by 3 or more in the first quarter, their last 3 straight games. I see the Bills coming out firing after that loss last week against the Vikings. They are pissed off. They have every right to be pissed off. And an interesting fact is Cleveland has not covered a spread against the AFC East all year. They were minus 6.5 against the Jets, lost outright 30-31. 3-point favorites against New England, lost 15-38. 3.5-point dogs against Miami, couldn't cover, 17-39 loss. Buffalo's also 14-0 against the spread off back-to-back losses. That's versus an opponent below 500. I believe in the first quarter, the reason why I'm taking the first quarter, should I say, is because the Bills have that Thanksgiving game here in 4 days. So first quarter or first half, I like that look out early because I think they just cruise the second half because they got to play that Thanksgiving game. So give me first quarter or first half. If it's 2.5, 3, if it's 4.5 or 5 in the first half, I'm down for both or either.
You can have the first quarter minus 2.5 at minus 120 or minus 3 at plus 102. What would you prefer? right, did we may have lost Alec here. Oh, are you there, Alec? Can you hear us? I just saw you blink.
I'm here. I'm here. I can hear you.
Okay, sorry, we lost you there for a second. Minus 2.5 at minus 120 or minus 3 at plus 102.
Okay. Let's do them. Let's take the 2.5.
All right, you got first quarter there, minus 2.5. Let's get you locked in here. Sorry. Here we go. First quarter minus 2.5 for the Bills. First quarter minus 2.5, minus 120. And then if you want the first half look here, it is a minus 4.5 at minus 107.
Let's tack that one on too.
All right, you got it. Bills first half minus 4.5, minus 107. All right, let's keep rolling. We have Alec making his debut here on NFL Pub. Next up for you is, you're the only one talking about this game here on the entire show. Carolina Panthers 3-7, 0-4 on the road. Baltimore Ravens 6-3, 2-2 at home. At M&T Bank Stadium, Baltimore, Maryland. 36 Fahrenheit, sunny, 19 miles per hour. Baker Mayfield is starting. PJ Walker is not even dressed. He's been ruled out with an ankle injury. He's not even on the sidelines. Also, Burris is going to be out of their secondary. Justin Burris is out with illness and concussion. That hurts. This team is a little beaten up on the defensive front. For the Ravens, Lamar Jackson was listed as questionable because he sat out Friday's practice with an illness. He will play today. And the big story is that Andrews is expected to be in this lineup. So Mark Andrews will be there. Let's take a look at the line history here quickly and then the cash flow. For line history-wise, the Ravens opened up at minus 13 at plus 102. They're now minus 13 at plus 107. So I guess it's really a 12.5. From a totals perspective, it opened up at 44, now at 42. Take it away, Alec.
I love this game over, and I'm looking at Razor throwing a $200 pick on the under 41.5 here, and I hate to go against my man Razor, but I'm breaking this down. Carolina is 2-0 to the over against the AFC North this year so far, and the Ravens have gone under in the last 5 of their 6 games, and I think they fit that trend this week. They've also split the total over under 1-1 against the NFC South. The Bucs went over, the Saints went under. The Saints, we all know how terrible they are this year. So I think with Baker coming back, the offense will be a little bit more productive. And I think the Ravens have the 4th highest scoring offense in the NFL. So, scoring 26.1 points per game, I could see this game being something along the lines of like 27-17. I would love to say I had the balls to take Panthers plus 13.5 here. I do not. I'll go ahead and I'll just take this total over 41.5, or if it's at 42.
It's down to 41.5, I believe we can get you. But let's talk about the cash flow here in this one. 58% of the ticket, 62% of the cash on the Panthers. But the sharp money is on the under at this point. 53% of the tickets, 74% of cash on the under. Let's get you the best number we can get you over a 41 is now on the board. So
okay.
Bovada has dropped it down to 41. So that's the lowest we see. So we'll give you that. Oh, do you want the over 41 at minus 115 or the over 41.5 at minus 105?
Let's grab the 41.5 at 105.
All right, you got it. Alec, you are on the over 41.5 at minus 105. The final game on the board for you, Washington Commanders, 5-5, 3-2 on the road at Houston Texans, 1-7-1, 0-3-1 at home, Energy Stadium in Houston, Texas. There are 3 games that have really captured the imagination of gamblers, and it's the Lions, with the sharp money all over them at the Giants. It's the Commanders fresh off beating the undefeated Eagles going into a Energy Stadium where the Texans have yet to win, and that line dropping with the sharps all over Houston. And then, of course, you have Minnesota 8-1, 4-0 at home, and the team that's 2-2 on the road comes in, the Dallas Cowboys, and our favorite. Those are the 3 games that it's so much fun to talk about. We're here with and they're all going to be talked about here on the show. Commanders, Texans, Energy Stadium. For the Commanders, Cole Holcomb with the foot injury, and their tight end Armani Rogers out. So is J.D. McKissick as well with a neck injury. They're all out. Jonathan Williams is questionable. He was limited on Friday after being a full participant for the first 2 practices. Curtis Samuel, Logan Thomas, and Antonio Gibson were also on the injury report earlier in the week. Shin, rib, and knee, respectively. They're all expected to be in the lineup with no concerns. And this Texans team is a pretty healthy group. They're missing Derek Stingley Jr. with a hamstring injury, defensive back, linebacker Neville Hewitt, and Rasheem Green, their defensive lineman, is sick, but he's also expected to be in the lineup. Commanders, Texans here. We see the Commanders opening up at -3.5 at plus money. They're now -3, and that -3 is at -105. So anyone can have them at a field goal, which is wild. From a total standpoint, opened up at 40. It's up to 41.5. And when we go over to the cash flow for this one, we have about 40% line value on the Washington Commanders. Two teams have full line value today, according to Sports Insights, and that's the Colts and the Saints. 55,961 tickets here. 39% of the tickets are on Houston, but 76% of the cash. And then 64% of tickets and 75% cash on the over. Take it away, Alec, your last game on the board.
I like the game under the 41.5 with 75% of the money on that total over. I feel like this is just an inflated line from that Monday night game. It's an overreaction. Washington's 25th in the league, scoring 19.1 points per game. Against Houston, 28th in the league at 16.6 points per game. I could see this being something like 17-14. And honestly, Washington, they're 0-5 against the spread after the Eagles. 0-6 if you count this year's game when they played Dallas after they played the Eagles. So I don't see the Commanders even covering this game. Again, I just don't have the balls to take take Texans plus the 3. I wish I did, but I think this game's going to go under. I think it's going to be a lot of running. Clock is going to tick, and it's going to find its way under that 41.5.
If you want the 41.5, it's -117. We can give you a 41 at -105. What would you prefer?
Ooh, let's take the 41 at 105.
Under 41 at -105. Let's review Alec's action here. We have Alec on the Bears plus 2.5 at plus 101. Jets plus 3.5 -108. Bills first quarter -2.5 -120. Bills first half -4.5 -107. The over 41.5 in Carolina, Baltimore, and the under 41 at -105 in Washington, Houston. Star Child leaning to the over in that one. And Stimmy is big on the over there. There you have it, Alec. We got to move on. It was great having you for your debut, but tell us very quickly a little bit about what you've got going on with Better's Bet.
So Better's Bet is just a little podcast that me and my friend Moxie, who's down in the chat right now in our Better's Bet YouTube right now. But all we do is we break down the games. We give our picks and our reasoning behind it as well. So if you guys ever want to check out something, we give our picks over there. I want to shout out everybody in the chat. Pleasure to actually be on camera with you guys. I love, giving my picks on PubHub every Sunday morning just through the chat. So it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you to everybody. Shout out to everybody for taking the time out of their day. And if you haven't already, subscribe to PubHub. Hit the like button. We have 309 people in here. I can't see how many likes we got, but we should have at least 309 likes by now.
You are a good man, Alec, and a class act. It was great having you on the show. We look forward to having you more often. Thank you so much for joining us, my man. There he is, Alec from Better's Bet, making his debut here on NFL Pub Up. We move on to our next guest. But first, a big shout out to Arthur Meade Jr. Thank you so much for that $5 dono, my man. You always think of us, and it means a ton to us. Thank you for your support of our channel. It means the world. Let's move on to your next guest, a legend in low bag circles, and I love working with him. Coming to us from New York City, please welcome Dommy Gun Ricci. Dommy, how are you, my man?
What's up, Jimmy boy? How are you?
I am great. I'm always doing better when I share the screen with you, my friend.
Yes,
I miss hanging out with you. Atlantic City, we got to get the date locked in so we can all get back.
Please get that date locked in. I'm ready.
Oh, yeah, so are we, my man.
Hey,
so,
for the guys, let everybody know it is windy as hell over here. I'm sure there's going to be a wind effect at that Giant game. That stadium, that wind whips around, kind of like Citi Field does, but it's very windy today. Not like that 10, 15-mile-an-hour wind. I don't know what the reports are saying, but I can just tell you by looking out the window, it is super windy. And I'm maybe 20 miles east of Giant Stadium. So there you go. Keep that in mind, folks.
It is a windy afternoon here on the eastern seaboard.
Yes.
And look at that, Razor. What a guy, gifting 5 Pub Sports Radio memberships right now. Gifting
Razor.
5 Pub Sports Radio memberships. What a guy. You're a good man, Razor. Sharp picks. All right, let's get to work. Dommy Gun Ricci,
Cool.
Chicago Bears 3-7, 1-4 on the road. Atlanta Falcons 4-6, 3-2 at home. We've already had a both our cappers thus far talk about this very game. Jose's on the Falcons -3 + 110, and the under 49 at -112. Alec moved in a different direction in this one. He moved on the Bears +2.5 at +101. Dommy Gun Ricci, what are you doing here for Bears Falcons?
Shout out to Al. I don't know him. I definitely gonna check out his podcast, and I want to just know if he was Dutch Boy's like cousin or something. To me, he looked just like Dutch Boy, and he sounds like him too. Maybe it's just me being up all night playing poker on Bet Online, but that's another story. Yeah, Jim, I went with the Bears. I mean, I took them a little bit earlier, as I told you yesterday. I took them at +3, but whatever line I could get today, I will take, because I think the Bears could just win this game outright. I feel that the Falcons were kind of an easy way to look. I think the Falcons are one of those teams that came out really good. In the last 4 games, they haven't really played well. I mean, they beat the Panthers at home in an overtime game. They haven't been good against the spread at all. Actually, they're 0-4 against the spread after an ATS loss. The Bears' offense has just been clicking and clicking and clicking. I mean, they lost all these games scoring 30 points or better. It's I just feel it's going to change around, and I like the Bears today. I almost took them on the money line, to be honest with you, but I did take the +3 the other day. I don't know what line you could give. I took a +3 on Bet Online, actually, -115. But,
Well, you can have.
I'll take the 2.5 if that's all that's out there.
There is a +3 available at -123.
Yeah. Put it down.
Okay.
I never go off that hook for. I don't bet big enough for me to get off a hook over that little bit of money. That's for sure.
Bears +3 at -123 for Dommy Gun Ricci. Now you talk about the Jose Bouquet Bowl, New York Jets, New England Patriots. Another spot where we've had our cappers discuss this game already.
Yes.
Jose on the Jets +3.5. Alec
How
on the Jets
surprising.
+3.5. What's Dommy Gun Ricci doing?
I wish I could have bet if Jose was going to bet the Jets today in that line. Boy, oh boy, we could have bet the mortgage on that one. And I don't blame him. Listen, I'm coming around. I'm an old Jet fan who's been so skeptical this year. I'm an old Jet fan, same as an old Met fan. I'm skeptical. And, after getting burned this year in baseball, it took me a while to come around, but this Jet team is really legit. I think they're playing well. I think they got a little unlucky in that first game. Well, not unlucky. Listen, that rookie had that bad penalty, get roughing the quarterback, and it seems like after that play, I think that was in the end of in the first half. After that play, it seems like they went downhill. But they were doing well in that game. They had a pick 6 in that game. Listen, I like and I think the Jets for the last on the bye week has only lived and breathed Patriots. We all know the Patriots' record against them. We all know the psychological end, with Belichick. So I was listen, I'm a fan, and I'll be honest with you, gun to head, I would have took the Jets today, but I stayed away from the side. I think Zach Wilson's going to easily run for a lot more than 10.5 yards. I think that might even have some design plays for him. If you look at the Patriots, they haven't played well against these mobile quarterbacks. And 10.5 yards, it just jumped out at me. Sometimes you're looking at things and it just jumps out. That one jumped out. So that's a play I made. Another play, my lean, and I'm still toying with betting, is taking the Jets first half. But that's a lean. That's not an official play. But I did take the Jets, Zach Wilson, over 10.5 rushing yards.
You got that 10.5 rushing yards. What was the juice with that one?
Let me look it up while we're talking.
Okay.
That one I didn't write down. I don't know which one you. What lines do you have now? Do you have 10.5 out there still?
I'll have to pull up some fan.
Yeah, okay. I'll tell you the line.
Okay.
I'll tell you the line.
So, but you're making.
But that's what I took. Interesting game, man. It's an interesting game. We all know the numbers and the stats. I mean, there's a couple things that stand out. But listen, the Jets. If the Jets win, they're in first place. If they lose, they got an issue, because that means they lost 2 games against the Patriots, and we all know about divisions. And another little quick note: division dogs are hitting at what 64%, 30 and 17 so far this year. Division dogs hitting at a 64% rate.
Yeah, division dogs have been rolling, no
Yes.
doubt about it.
Yes.
Plus
30 and
-3.5 minus
17
108 is official for you, Domi?
Yes, beautiful,
And
Jim.
the Zach Wilson over 10.5 rush yards, and we'll get the juice on that. Domi, let's move on to your next spot
Go ahead, I'll
on the
keep it quick.
board. A highly anticipated football game here, 4:25 p.m. Eastern. Dallas Cowboys 6-3, 2-2 on the road at Minnesota Vikings 8-1, 4-0 at home. US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, Minnesota. The big story for the Cowboys is Zeke Elliott is expected to play. He's expected to play. And Anthony Barr, hamstring, and cornerback Anthony Brown, as well as DeMarcus Lawrence, banged up and questionable, but they're expected to play at this point. The Vikings lost Cam Dantzler, 2 weeks ago. Now he's on IR. Caleb Evans came in to replace him, and now he's out with a concussion. That hurts a lot. Dalvin Tomlinson's still not back, so both of them are out. This is a very weak secondary. The stats we talked at length about on Tuesday, and we don't need to go over them again. We want to hear what you guys have to say about this spot, but a very, very weak secondary here with the Vikings getting weaker. And then outside linebacker Zadarius Smith, who's been a monster this year, dealing with a knee barking at him, but he's expected to be good to go and in the lineup. We know that it's a shocking line that was put out that we expect, that we imagine the books were thinking, well, we're going to get a ton of Vikings money. Vikings open up at plus 104. Maybe it's better to look at the money line. Vikings open up at Pinnacle at plus 111. They got up to plus 115. They got up to plus 122. They also got down to even money at one point. They're sitting at plus 111 right now. From a total standpoint, opened up at 47, now up to 48.5. I'm on the over 47.5. I didn't get the 47, unfortunately. I was just a little late on that Tuesday night. And when we go to the cash flow here, 76,502 tickets in. The Dallas Cowboys have been given about 18% line value from Sports Insights. 52% of the tickets, 77% of the cash. We know the Sharps have been on the Cowboys all week. And then you have 85% of the tickets, 87% of cash on the over. Take it away for us right now and look at the Gambler's First Glance from Razor Sharp Picks. It's Dallas minus 1.5. How is Domi going to reach you betting this?
Yeah, I mean, to me, you got to like Dallas. You see what happened their last game. They turned over that ball 4 times, and that's why the Packers beat them. And we've seen what the Packers did coming out of that game, right? So, that to me, that was just a one-off game. I think Dallas is a very good team, a lot better than I thought they were going to be. When I looked on Friday at the DraftKings numbers, because I always tell you I look at VSiN a lot, and they had the DraftKings numbers, and on Friday it was 54% of the money, 35% of the bets on the Cowboys. So it just seems like the public was jumping on the Vikings. I mean, listen, the Vikings just came off such a big win against the Bills. And like you said, they were a little bit banged up. I just like Dallas. I'm not going to screw around with the points. I took them minus 126 on BetUS, and which is another book I've been using. And that's what I took. I took them the money line. I think Dallas is the play today. And yeah, Turnsey said he's seen that Wilson prop minus 110. That's what I got on Bet Online, was minus 110 on that Wilson prop.
Perfect.
That's what
locked
the line
in with
was.
that juice.
But,
and the
yeah.
Cowboys, we can get you on the money line minus 118 available right now. Some books at minus 122 as well. You are locked
I paid
in
Friday
with the
126. I paid on Friday.
The finals.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, you want to add to that, my man?
No. I'm just saying that I pay. I'm a little bit surprised. Well, listen, I guess the public is still going against the Vikings. It seems to be that type of play. So I'm just surprised that the money line went down as much. But regardless, whatever the line you give me, I like the Dallas outright to win.
I can't wait to watch that game this afternoon.
What a game.
Next spot and final spot on the board for you, Domi Gun, the Bengals Steelers at Acrisure. 29 Fahrenheit, mostly sunny, 14 mile per hour wind. We've already heard from Jose on the Steelers plus 3.5 in the money line. I moved on the Steelers 4.5 on Tuesday. Domi, how are you betting this one? Take it away, Bengals. Steelers.
I say because I'm on the same game. I love the Steelers. I'm sure Jose hit all the points. We know this weird phenomenon when J.J. Watt is in that lineup. I guess teams just focus on him so much that they forget about the other players. I don't know what it is, but they're like they just lose every time he's not in the lineup. And when their record overall when he's in the lineup is just, it's absurd. So that's not the reason why I like them so much. But I do like the Steelers. I took them at +4. I know it opened at 4.5. I'm sure there's 3.5s out there by now. I'm not really. I didn't look today, but I like the Steelers. I could go over Tomlin as a dog. He's 65%. Division dogs, like I mentioned, 64%. It's an interesting stat when teams +3.5 or more are hitting 65%, 58 and 31, which is an interesting line. They call it a sweet spot stat. +3.5 or over 65%. So, again, we could go over all the numbers. I know you have a big show today. I love the Steelers today. I'm almost ready to maybe even put a little bit on the money line on this game. I really do like it. And I know you don't have much time. I did add a play. I took the Ravens first half -7. I think the Ravens are going to roll on this team this week. And I love that Baker Mayfield is back in a guy who the Ravens know very well. I think that's a big advantage that Baker Mayfield is quarterback today for the Ravens. I think I don't like I won't take double digits at 13. I just don't do it. But if I had to take a play at that line, I would take it. If I did take the Ravens plus, I wish, -7, -108.
We can get you -106 at Pinnacle right now, so we'll lock you in there.
For record keeping, as long as I have -7, right? So I guess however you want to do it, Jim.
Sounds good. Ravens first half -7 at -106.
So that was my added play. 5 plays for you guys.
Yes, 5 looks from our Dommy Gun Ricci. Steelers +3.5 -107. Cowboys -118. Zach Wilson over 10.5 rush yards, and the Jets +3.5 at -108. Follow our guy on Twitter. Dommy, we love you. Great to have you back in action on the show, and hopefully we can have you more and more as the season goes on, my man.
I'm back in action. You know me, I take my little breaks here and there. I'm back in action, ready to go. Thanks, guys.
I love it. There he is, Dommy Gun Ricci in the house. Dommy Gun was joined us on week 6, went 2-3 down 1.25 units, has 5 games here for us. He's sitting 11th right now out of, it'll be 21 cappers have done our show after Alec and Jose's debut today. Let's move on to your next guest. He came on this show with a flourish on week 8. He went 6-2 plus 3.88 units. On week 9, he went 3-2 plus 0.8 units. Now he's 9-4 plus 4.68 units, sitting in 3rd overall on our leaderboard. Please welcome Mr. Spenny Penny Bombs. And now, Spenny, how are you, my man?
How we doing, Jimmy? How we doing?
Good, buddy. How you doing, man?
Oh, just it's got a little snowstorm up here. I'm back home in Collingwood, and it's a freaking snowstorm up here. We got a ton of snow last night and this morning, so I had to do a bunch of shoveling this morning.
So did I. I shoveled with a pint God, I can't even speak. I had to shovel my car out of a cheap parking lot. It was awful. But we got out. We got out. We made it back. We're feeling good. We're ready to rock. And you've been running very, very hot here on the show, Spenny. Now you're here for your 3rd appearance over 4 weeks, and we can't wait. You start right away with a very contentious game, man. People have been talking all about it all week. Detroit Lions at New York Giants. MetLife Stadium, East Rutherford, New Jersey. 37 Fahrenheit, mostly sunny. 18 miles per hour is the wind. We already heard from Dommy that the wind is a real issue. This Lions defensive line has taken a hit. Charles Harris and Josh Paschal are both out. So that is some depth pieces that are gone. Ragnow limited on Friday after not practicing on Thursday and Wednesday, but he's expected to be in the lineup. Frank Ragnow expected to be in there. So is Malcolm Rodriguez. For the Giants, Bellinger still out with the eye injury. Tackle Evan Neal is doubtful. But Dexter Lawrence, Kenny Golladay, and Wan'Dale Robinson are expected to be in. Golladay and Robinson should keep a close eye on them because they're both dealing with hamstring injuries. They're very limited.
They're not really using I think he played like a couple snaps last week, and then they just they didn't even really use him. I think they're just trying to phase him out, to be honest.
Very possible here. This line history has been wild. It opened up with the Lions plus 3.5, and it's went to 3, and it's stayed there. This 3 also became very juiced at times. It's not right now. It's not right now. It's at minus 103. From a total perspective, it opened up at 45.5 and is now at 45. From a cash flow perspective, we know where the sharp money is, and it's changing a little bit, but 30% of the tickets, 44% of the cash on the Lions, moved from 3.5 to 3, a crucial number. And then 39% of the tickets and 85% of the cash on the under. A big amount of money on the under, and it's only dropped a half point.
Makes sense, I guess, with if the wind is that bad.
Yeah, I wonder about that under. It wasn't really on my radar. Maybe it is now. Take it away for us, Benny. Lions, Giants.
Yeah, I just I just think the Giants are just a straight up better team. I don't trust the Lions here, especially with Tommy Gunn saying that wind is swirling today. The Lions are absolutely awful against the run. That just means that the Giants are going to be able to pound this ball with Barkley all day long. They are 5-5. Their last 10 head-to-head in their ATS, but Giants are 7-2 ATS this season. They're 4-1 at home ATS this season. And they're 5-1 at home in their last 6 ATS. Like I said, I just think the Giants are just a straight up better team, and I think the Giants are going to get this done today.
Well, let's lock you in with your Giants here. And I must be on first half there. Sorry, let me move to full game. Here we go. You can get a -3 at minus 105 is the best price that we can find you.
Sure. Yeah.
Over at 5 dimes. -3 at minus 105. You are locked in. Penny bombs. Next up for you is Browns Bills over in Detroit, Michigan. We've already talked about the line movement and all the injuries. It is time for us to hear how you are betting this one. Take it away, Browns Bills.
Yeah, it's quite the interesting game with just all the snow that they had in Buffalo and getting moved over in Detroit now, and it's been jumping up and down with this total, fluctuating up and down. But I just looks like the Bills are getting a ton of money as a public fave right now. I did get an 8 last night with Cleveland. I'm going to jump on the +8 with the Cleveland Browns. I think that if Cleveland can get their run game going, get Chubb established, get a little bit of play action off of it. Peoples-Jones has been a really nice. I think he would be a nice look as well if somebody wants to look at him for a prop. I know Browns. It's not a team that you obviously want to look at too often, but I just don't feel well with the way that Buffalo is coming into this game, and I just think that if they can get Chubb established, like I said earlier, I'm also jumping on his rush yards. I got his rush yards at over 74.5 last night. Bills are allowing close to 88 yards per game, in the middle of the NFL. Chubb missed it last week, but he's only missed over 80 rush yards 2 times this year. I think Chubb's going to get that over rush yards today.
You are locked in. I came close to moving on. I was going to move on the Browns had the game stayed in Buffalo. I'm not sure what. I'm still kind of lost
It's a weird game
with the change. But Browns +8 -110. What was the juice on the Chubb over 74.5 rush yards?
I got -110 last night.
-110. Thank you, Slatsy. It was very easy. Very easy. No concern whatsoever. Pile on myself out of that cheap shit-ass parking lot and comfortably drove. Very comfortably.
Shovel his way out like the rest of us.
Very comfortably drove to Toronto with no qualms and no concerns. Chubb over 74.5 rush yards. Twandon, my man, the 2 teams that have been given full line value, according to Sports Insights, are the Indianapolis Colts and the New Orleans Saints. Let's move on to the next spot on the board for Penny Bombs, and it's the Raiders-Broncos game. Empower Field at Mile High, 46 Fahrenheit, sunny, 3 miles per hour. Devontae Adams ended up being on the injury report, abdomen. He's expected to be in the lineup. Denzel Perryman dealing with the rib issue as well. For the Broncos, they have a ton of injuries. Hamler out still with the hamstring. Judy out with the ankle injury. Cornerback Kwan Williams out with wrist, elbow, knee. You take your pick. Baron Browning hip. They need him back in the lineup. And Graham Glasgow as well. We know that he's the backup center. And if he's out, they have a center who had to be under center last week, and he'd only taken one snap all year, and it puts him in a huge amount of trouble. I moved on the under 41.5, and I don't like in my head thinking about the house's money, but I cash on the under in Broncos games every week, and I went back to the well, and let's just see the line history and see if I should have any kind of concern. First off, the Broncos open up -2.5, -114, and now -2.5, -116. Total wise, it hasn't moved off that 41.5. It is juiced to the under, but it's not moved. When we go over to the cash flow for this one, we have 42,456 tickets in, 61% of the tickets, 66% of the cash on the Raiders, and 81% of the tickets, 94% of cash on the under, and it's not moving, and it concerns me very much. Take it away for us, Spenny. Raiders, Broncos.
Yeah, it's not pretty, but it's I know the Raiders have not looked well. They've not played well. Everybody's doubting McDaniels right now, even myself. But it's a plug your nose and take the Raiders spot. I'm taking the +2.5. I'm taking the Raiders money line. Most of the bets that I've seen are going on the Broncos. The line hasn't moved too much. Raiders are 8-2 straight up in their last 10. They're 5-0 straight up in their last 5. They're 9-1 ATS in their last 10. It looks like the Raiders just have Denver's number. I know it's injuries on both sides of the ball right now. Like I said, it's just a plug your nose spot and take the Raiders today.
Well, the 3 is available at -118.
Sure, yeah, I'll take the 3.
Okay, take the 3 at -118, and then the money line at +130.
130, yeah.
All right, you are locked in. Let's lock it in. Raiders +3 at -118, and then the money line at +130. Very dangerous. Very dangerous. I still not over what the Raiders have done to me over the last few weeks, and of course, after them taking me to the woodshed, they're going to cash for you, Spenny. But
we'll see. Man. We'll see. They're definitely it's a tough look with the Raiders. Anytime they've definitely burned people all year long, but I just like the way that they played Denver. I just think that I think the Raiders are going to get this done today. I think Jacobs could have another big day like he had last time they played.
Let's move on to your final spot on the board, Spenny. Cowboys, Vikings. We've already discussed this game. What we need to hear is how you are betting it. So take it away. The floor is yours. US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, Cowboys, Vikings.
Yeah, I'm not. It's just a prop spot for me in this one. Nothing. I would lean the Cowboys if I was to take a spot in this game. But I'm looking towards Michael Gallup over 3.5 receptions. I got it at +100 last night. I think it was in that this morning. It's had 13 targets in the last 2 games. He's played only 6 games this year, but hit over that target amount 3 of those 6 games. Minnesota's defense has just got holes all over it. I think that this game could have some back and forth in spots in it. CD obviously is a luck for people as well, but I think Gallup, they need to start getting him a little bit more involved in this offense, and he's definitely seeing the targets. So taking his over receptions, and I'm going to sprinkle his touchdown at +220 as well.
Did you want to make the touchdown an official pick here for our
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Anytime touchdown at +220. You are locked in. Spenny Penny Bombs, who comes in to our show 9-4 plus 4.68 units. You have the Giants -3 at -105. Browns +8 at -110. Chubb over 74.5 rush yards at -110. Raiders +3 at -118. Moneyline +130. And Gallup over 3.5 receptions and anytime touchdown at +220. Spenny, we love you. Enjoy the weekend up in Collingwood. And get that cash. Follow our guy, Spenny, at Penny _8. Is that right?
Yep.
Perfect. At Penny _8. Selfless capper, always putting out in his action. Love working with them. It's all good, Twan, my man. Go out and get that cash and keep up the great work. And thank you so much for hanging with us, Spenny.
Have a good one, Jimmy. Let's go, guys.
There he is, Spenny Penny Bombs. We stay in Ontario right now. We go from Collingwood to Kingston, Ontario. We're bringing on your next guest. I'm excited that he's been rolling with us. He was with us week 7. He was with us week 9. And here he is week 11. And I know he's going to have one of those weeks where he just fires off winner after winner. I know it's in him. Let's bring him on to the show right now. Please welcome from Kingston, Ontario, Birdie in the house. Birdie, how are you, my man?
I'm good. These odd weeks fucking suck. Yeah, we'll get it back today. It's been a rough couple of weeks, I can't lie, but ready to go today. I like my looks.
Let's get right to work. Your record isn't awful here on the show. You're right in line to get back to the black 9-12, down 3.35 units. I believe in you. We all do. Let's get right to. We've seen you cap NFL for a long time. We know you're a winner at it. So let's just get right to work here. We start with Jets Patriots. We've already had the breakdowns. We've already heard about the injuries and the line movement. Let's hear how Birdie's betting it. Take it away, Birdie.
Jets 3.5. I'm not going to talk anymore on this one. It's been talked to death. I'm taking the better defense here. Taking the better defense here.
3.5, and I believe the line we could get you is -108. We can get you that -108, and another one of our cappers on the Jets +3.5.
I will say before we leave this, if you're a prop bettor, betting that no touchdown scored in the game might be a good one today. I can't imagine either of these head coaches letting these quarterbacks have a say in how this outcome goes. I really think Saleh's just going to let this Jets defense win this game. And if he doesn't, then he's an idiot. But yeah, no touchdowns. I'm not playing that, but that'd be a prop I'd look at because it's usually a pretty big number.
Jets +3.5 -108. Let's move to the Commanders Texans game. One of those lines where it was put out knowing that the Commanders were going to take a ton of cash. Now, in saying that, we have seen this move to a 3. So, this opened up with the Commanders -3.5, but it was at a +107. So it was I guess it sort of was always a 3. And even right now, this 3 for the Commanders is at even money. It is at even money.
What's the 2.5?
The 2
is it 120?
Let me find out because we keep moving.
I know. I was going to talk really long on this one in hopes that it'd be 2.5 before I was done. What is that 2.5 number?
-122.
Okay, that's fine. So I'm going to take Commanders. I'll take the 2.5.
Right.
Again, this time of year, if you can pack a defense and a run game, they're good teams to bet on. Last week against the Giants, the Texans had 5 second half drives that ended up in the Giants' red zone, and they scored 6 points. Houston they're not motivated to win games. They could be winning games, but they're not. Especially in the second half, they just seem to not necessarily let down because they put up numbers, but they just can't finish. And normally this would be a horrible spot for Washington, and I would probably fade it 9 out of 10 times. But Washington's now 4-4. They're in a playoff kind of discussion now. This is a really big game for this team. They should have Chase Young coming back next week. I like what their quarterback's saying in the public, although, I mean, if you're going to identify a flat spot, then chances are you might hit one. So tail this one with caution. But I will take the Commanders under a field goal here. It won't surprise me if Washington wins this by a big margin.
Well, you got it. Commanders -2.5 at -122 for you, Birdie. Next up, Bears Falcons. A similar situation from the Commanders Texans, where it's a shock that the Bears would be put out at this number after what we've seen the Bears do the last few weeks and the Falcons falling apart. Falcons can't even go into Carolina and win. And the Bears are taking a ton of money because of it. So let's see how you're going to bet this one. Take it away, Bears Falcons.
I'm going to be taking the Falcons. I love what their head coach is saying in the media. I'm a big fan of Arthur Smith. I think he's a really good coach. He comes out of that Vrabel coaching tree. His teams are always ready and prepared to play. Yes, they went 0-4 against the spread, but I don't know if you've noticed. Early in the year, Detroit was covering spreads. Falcons were covering spreads. Then everybody jumped on board, and then they stopped covering spreads. Now we see the Bears, they're covering, they're winning some games. Everybody's jumping on this Bears bandwagon, and now it's time to transition off them. The Bears aren't a good football team. They don't have a good defense. I think a lot of one-sided looks are on what Justin Fields is doing, and rightfully so. He's played really well the last probably 3 or 4 games, but I think this is a Falcon spot, and if I can get a 2.5, that would be great. If not, I'm happy with the 3.
Let's get that for you here. You also have a prop in this game. Do you want to discuss
I
that?
do. Yeah, Cole Kmet, anytime touchdown. When I saw it was plus 250. That's just too high. Really, outside of Mooney, Fields has not much else to throw to in that offense. And in red zone looks, I think Kmet's going to have an opportunity or two to score a touchdown today. And at plus 250, I think that's probably the only prop I'll play today. And I like the look.
All right, and then let's see what we can get you at minus 2.5 for the Bears here. Alternate line for you. Here we go. Bears. Falcons. Sorry, taking a second.
I'm looking at Falcons.
Falcons. My bad. Minus 2.5 for the Falcons. Minus 111.
Okay, that's good.
All right, Falcons minus 2.5 for Birdie. It's 2.5 at minus 111. Birdie, you are rolling. Next up, the Bengals Steelers at Acrisure Stadium, 29 Fahrenheit, cold, not that windy. Minka Fitzpatrick will be playing, and Jamar Chase will not. Take it away for us, Bengals Steelers.
Yeah, so I'm going to be the lone wolf here. I'm going to be on the Bengals. Bengals are just a better team. I get it. There's going to be a ton of wind today, and if you make what's his name, the quarterback for Pittsburgh? It's leaving my mind.
Kenny Pickett.
Thank you. With the wind there today and DJ Reader coming back in the middle of that Cincinnati defense, it's going to make it very difficult for Pittsburgh to run the football today. And if you shut down that run game and force Pickett to beat you through the air, I mean, I'm going to take the Bengals here. I'll take Joe Burrow over Kenny Pickett in a game that you're going to have to throw probably the football a little bit, especially if you're Pittsburgh. I don't know if folks know who DJ Reader is, but he's been on the IR. And if you go back and look at these Cincy games recently, they've been getting gashed on the ground. That stops today. This guy's a beast. And I just don't see Pittsburgh having any success in the run game today. And Pickett's going to struggle. And interception props probably are also in play there because this young man's going to have to beat the Bengals today throwing the football, and I just don't see that happening.
The market continues to move towards the Steelers. That minus 3.5 is now plus money, which means the minus 3 is just minus 118.
Done. Take it.
All right, you got it. Bengals. And the Bengals are going to be part of a parlay that we will touch at the end here for you. Bengals minus 3 and minus 118. Now we move on to Cowboys Vikings. I'm really excited to hear your take on this spot. So the floor is yours. US Bank Stadium, Cowboys Vikings.
This is going to be the best defense Kirk Cousins has played this year. And it's a defense that got embarrassed last week in Green Bay. It's a defense where their defensive captain's been open in public all week, pissed off about how bad they played and how much better he has to play in this game. I just love this spot for Dallas. They play fast. They're on a fast surface. And I think it's going to be a long, long day for Kirk Cousins. And a lot of this positive regression positive spots that Minnesota's had recently, I think we're going to see a little bit of regression here for them moving forward. And it'll start today against the Cowboys.
Minus 1.5 is still available. Minus 1.5 at minus 108. Does that work?
What's the money line? I missed it earlier with Don.
I will grab the money line.
If it's like 120-ish, I take the money line.
Sorry, grabbing it right here.
Take the 1.5. Take the 1.5.
No, I got it right here. No worries. Let's just take a look and see what it is. Sorry, I got a injury. We have a 2-year-old injured outside my office. Dallas, you can get minus 123 is the best number we can get you.
Let's take the 1.5 then.
Minus 1.5. Let's lock you in. I apologize for Carter. He's a tough kid, man. So something major happened because he doesn't cry easily. Minus 1.5 at minus 108 for you. Let's lock that in. Minus 1.5 at minus 108. Then Birdie, we move to Estadio Azteca before we get to your parlay. The Monday nighter here. 49ers, Arizona Cardinals, and we have showers now. 65 Fahrenheit showers. 8 miles per hour is the wind. I'm going to hand it over to you right away because my son is crying in the background.
Okay.
So take it away for us, Birdie. Niners, Cardinals.
Thanks. Okay, so I'm going to be on the Cardinals here. For those folks that know me in the chat, they know I don't necessarily bet a lot of favorites. I'm a dog player most of the time. But this 49ers team is going to be special by the end of this year. They're getting healthier on defense. And the acquisition of McCaffrey is going to take this offense to the next level. I mean, they won a game last week and covered a game, and their quarterback didn't throw a touchdown. I think this is going to be a fairly big lopsided score. I just love watching the 49ers, and I can't wait to continue to watch them to see how they grow and develop as they move along here as the weeks go by. If it's raining heavy and it's dependent on a run game, 49ers will win that running away anyway. So I really like this. And one cool thing that I did here is Shanahan took the team to Denver this week to practice in the altitude. So when they go to Mexico, they're going to be ready for that altitude, and it's not going to affect them as much as it's going to affect Arizona. And Arizona's a mess. They got a clean house there. I don't see this score being close.
You got it, Birdie. Niners -8 at -110. Fowler's Hound joining us. Football kickoff 49 minutes away from week 11. Birdie, you have a parlay that you are adding. Talk to us about this parlay.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with the Washington money line, the Bengals money line, and the 49ers money line. I like all three of these teams to win this week, and I like giving out a parlay at the end. And Jimmy, I'm going to add Browns money line. I won't go into depth about the game, but I did read this week that like 90% of that Bills room was sick. And my friend Coco brought up this week, do you notice that the NFL no longer gets COVID? And there's a big flu going into this Bills locker room. And I'm just going to take a quick splash on this Browns money line.
All right, let's lock you down with the Browns money line here. And then I will get the parlay up with the lines available.
It's right like 344 or 323. I sent it to you, the number.
Yeah, I'll do it for with just what's available right now here at Pinnacle, and I'll give it out for everybody here in the chat. Browns money line. This is a big one. This is a big one here. You're gonna get plus 311.
Book it.
Plus 311 for Browns money line.
Do you not find that odd though that COVID no longer is present in the National Football League? Like, when's the last time you heard of a player getting COVID?
Well, they don't test for it anymore. It's just the flu, right? It's just the flu.
Yeah, just the flu.
And it's better that way. I think this is.
No, I agree.
Yeah. No, I like it. Let's review Birdie's action here for week 11. Birdie giving us Jets plus 3.5 at -108. Commanders -2.5 -122. Falcons -2.5 at -111. Cole Kmet anytime touchdown at plus 250. Bengals -3 at -118. Cowboys -1.5 -108. Browns money line at plus 311. And then a Washington Bengals Cowboys parlay, money line parlay. And I will work with that and give you guys that number. Birdie, it is great to have you back in action on the show. Follow our guy Birdie on Twitter at Birdie_bets. Birdie, my man, any last words for the Cappers supporting the show?
Yeah, thanks to my brothers from Kingston that tune in when I'm on. Thanks for the support. Everyone that jumps in here when I'm on, I really appreciate it. And I know Pub Sports appreciates it. In this chat, and Dommy Gunn and Big Ragu, they're beauties. Spencer won the week this week because he was the rose between two thorns between me and Dommy today. So it's all good. Spencer's the winner regardless of what happens today. Be well. Love you, sir.
Love you, buddy. Great to have him. Birdie in the house. Follow him on Twitter. Great guy, great capper, great friend. Let's move on to your next guest. We go from Kingston, Ontario down to Ocala, Florida, horse country, and also a place that homes one of the best cappers in our industry. Please welcome to the show, the Big Ragu in the house. Ragu, how are you?
I'm wealthy. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, my man. I'm doing good.
I'm wealthy in love with you guys, man. That's what I'm wealthy. I'm just, the wealth is a little joke. My pockets are feeling pretty good after a good day in college football too yesterday. But how's Carter? How's family? How's everybody back at the crib?
Everybody's great. Everybody's great. Nice weekend down in Niagara Falls.
I heard you went to Niagara.
Yeah, it was great. It was a lot of fun. Ragu, you're running very hot here. You got off to a rough start. You are last year's champion. And this year you got off to a rough start. Weeks 1 and 2, you were down 2.63 units. Since then, in the last 3 shows you've done with us, you are 11-5. You are plus 6.37 units. You've now moved into 4th place overall, 14-10, plus 3.74 units. You're running hot, Ragu. Let's get right to work. Jets, Patriots, contentious game. But nobody is on the Patriots except for my pick in the Cappers contest. Everybody else here is on the Jets, and they probably scared me off betting the Jets. But when you lead me into a direction on these Sundays, it's been very profitable for me. Any chance that you're going up against everybody, or are you with the Jet squad?
I'm not with the Jets. I'm not with the Pats. I'm with the under in this game. That's what I'm with. But basically, the Jets have been really nice on the road, 4-0, on the road this year. Fresh on Wilson's mind is that last game, before the game before the bye, he's had a lot to think about those 3 picks that he threw here. I think Saleh is going to make some nice adjustments there. Belichick, we know what he does adjustment-wise. So I like what Bertie said. We might not see a touchdown this game. And how are you going to score 38 points without a touchdown? It ain't going to happen. So, I'm all about the under here. I think we see a defensive battle, a chess match, if you will. And, take me to the window with the under. I love this play.
I cashed on it last time these two teams met. I got the double up. I cashed with the Patriots, cashed on the under. 39 points were scored, but we got in, I think, 40 or 40 and a half. Now we're at 38. You're getting under 38 at minus 104, but the weather was nice in the last time these two teams met. This time we have 19-mile-per-hour winds. Ragu getting his card started with the under 38 in Jets Patriots. Now we go to the Lions Giants. We talked about this game with a few different cappers, and I'm excited to hear your take on it. Spenny Penny Bombs moved on the Giants minus 2.5. Or sorry, did I get him the 3? Let me just review Spenny's action once more. We got Spenny here it is minus 3 at minus 105 for the Giants. How are you moving on this one? Take it away. We know the Sharps have been on the Lions all week, but it's starting to tilt back.
You know me, I'm a Giants fan, and I'm not a homer. I don't play a lot of teams that I really follow with my heart, but it's hard not to back the Giants here for more reasons than one. Obviously, we know that the Lions have had this awesome offense, that just kind of blows the points, blows the scoreboard up with their offense, the talent that they have. But those are when they're at home. On the road, they're only scoring like 15 points per game on the road. And we hear about the weather, like Dami says, the wind's blowing. And that says, the wind pushes Saquon pretty good in the back, and it'll push Daniel Jones in the back pretty well also. Now, the Giants don't need to put the ball up a whole lot, to score points. And with the Giants, they're going to score probably 24 points in this spot. I can see this one maybe leaning where we're looking at a total here right now on this one.
Right now, the total in this one opened up at 40, well, depending on where you shop. But right now it's at 44 at Pinnacle, 44.5 at Bet365, 45 at Bookmaker and BetChris.
That makes sense to me. I figured it'd be like 43, 44, looking back at it. But I can see the Giants, coming away with the win here, like, 24-20. I can see them coming away, 27-20. I can see them coming away 24-17, and the game staying under. But either way, it all equals to Giants 7-point win, and they get the job done here. Don't even think about it. You Detroit guys, not going to talk you off anything ever, but it just I don't think it's – and it's a fishy line, too. That's what stinks to me. I kind of took pause when I first see it. That's damn, they're only 3 points. But, and the Sharps are coming in the other way, too. So, usually the Sharps like backing these teams that are going to be what I consider undervalued teams, but in this spot here, what I like about Dable is he makes a lot of adjustments on the fly. He's a player's coach. He's a sharp guy, and I don't think they're going to sneak this game away from the Giants. If you like Detroit, you might as well play them on the money line, but I like the Giants laying the points here.
Giants minus 3 at minus 108. Another game up next that has the same feel with the public all over one side, but I can't wait to hear your take. Take it away for us here. Chicago Bears, Atlanta Falcons, Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, so the hottest kid in the league right now is Fields, getting it done with his legs, going all over the field, making plays, just playing lights out, putting points up on the board. Their defense, you can't really write home about. Um, the tight end, Komet, I like that look on him, with the touchdown prop, which I'm not going to get involved with that. But, outside of Fields making the plays, the interesting fact is the addition of Claypool. We have seen yet to have him get involved here. Today might be a day you might see Claypool because the Falcons defense is nothing right, to write home about. But they have weapons too on the other side, which could bode well, for a total play here. Patterson, Pitts, Mariota, the better passer of the two quarterbacks, I think, on the field. He can take off and run too. So I see a lot of offense here. I know the total's set pretty high at 50, but I can see this one, easily hitting like high 50s to low 60s. So I think we see a ton of offense. It's probably a public play, obviously, because of the fact that, the optics here, but there's going to be a lot of Bears overs, and I think the books are trying to catch up here. They might have caught up a little bit, but I still think it's going to get a little bit higher here. So I want to go full game over with both sides here. I think there's going to be a ton of offense, both sides of the ball. Give me the over here, Atlanta, Chicago over.
You got the over locked in for you here. This has been an interesting total because 55% of the tickets are on the over, but just 43% of the cash. So it's actually dropped. It's dropped now. It's at 48.5. And we can get you over 48.5. A couple of the offshores that are sketchier at 49, but most of the main ones are at 48.5. So we'll give you the over 48.5 and minus 108. Over 48.5 minus 108. And a free $500 bet on the side. What would you do here? Bears Falcons at 3.
Man, it's probably going to come down to like that type of game. Last possession, field goal, late score. If free bet, I'd probably take the home team here. I'd take Atlanta.
Final spot on your card is another game that we all can't wait to watch, and we're all talking about it. And you got guys like Rez Mob who've made so much money off of the Minnesota Vikings all year that he's just going to take them again. He knows the heart of this football team. But if you're studying the defensive issues in the secondary for the Vikings and the type of defense that the Cowboys are bringing in, an angry defense, you see why the Cowboys were made road favorites, even though they're just 2-2 on the road. Take it away for us, Ragu. The last game on your card, Cowboys Vikings.
Yeah, we know the Vikings are going to have a little bit of a defensive issues, but how much defense do you really need to slow this pathetic Dallas offense down? I mean, in reality, Prescott hasn't impressed. His group of core receivers, they haven't impressed with Lamb and what's the other kid's name? Gallup, right? Nothing impresses me there. Elliott's probably the lesser of the two than Pollard, the quarterback, running back wise, so that's no big deal for getting him back. And the Vikings, like I say, defensive struggle, yeah, but look at that meltdown that they had. They could be pissed off, mad, whatever they want to call it. But I'll tell you one thing: Minnesota, when they have Dalvin Cook in the offense in the backfield, that's a whole different dynamic of a team. They eat, and Dallas giving up 200 yards rushing a game. Give me Cook. Let Cook cook. Let Cousins, not in primetime Cousins, and afternoon Cousins, let him eat a little bit too. And Jefferson, dynamic, receiver. I think they eat here. I think Minnesota gets it done. I think they do. And then when I seen the number 2, I says disrespected the Vikings again. 8-1. Look at the scoreboard. At the end of the day, look at the scoreboard again. Minnesota wins this game.
Do you want the plus 113 on the money line?
Yeah, I'll take the money line here. Yeah. That 1.5 ain't going to mean nothing today.
Vikings plus 113 on the money line. Interesting. All of the games that you have here have been heavily debated, except for the Jets Patriots. We haven't seen anybody on the Patriots side of things. Yeah. Under 38 minus 104 in Jets Patriots for Big Ragu. Again, Big Ragu last 3 weeks, he's 11-5 on this show, plus 6.37 units. Next up, he's on the Giants minus 3 at minus 108. He's on the over 48.5 at minus 108 and Bears Falcons, and he's on the Vikings plus 113. You often leave us with a teaser, a sweetheart teaser.
That's
You doing
right.
that for us today?
You know it. It wouldn't be an NFL Sunday without a big good teaser. But I'm not going to double up on any of my spots here. And I heard Bertie talk about the Houston game, which I don't have an argument with him on that one. But I don't know if they're going to win by margin in that spot there, the Commanders. Even though Houston will put up a little bit of a fight, I think they do. They're playing at home. You know, home dogs are usually pretty good spots in the NFL, and especially if you plug them in the teaser. So I like the Houston team in the teaser, and I'm tired of hearing about Jeff Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Give me Philadelphia in the tease also. Minus, what are they, 6.5, minus a half? They're going to win the game. They're not going to lose back-to-back. I mean, that's a one-off for what they played the other night against the Commanders, you know. So I know Commanders are getting a lot of love right now. Philadelphia, just draw a line through that game. They come back today. Use them in a teaser with Houston, minus a half, plus 9.
Minus a half and plus 9. There we go. Eagles minus a half. You are locked in, Ragu. It is great to roll with you. Congratulations on your excellent work yesterday in college football. Carry it over to the big boys on Sunday and get that cash, my man. Follow our guy, Big Ragu62 on Twitter. Follow him and support him. And thank you so much for sharing all of your hard work with us, Ragu. Any last words for the Cappers supporting the show?
We got the best chat in the world, like I always say, and let's keep cashing, working together, and breaking the books.
There he is, the Big Ragu in the house. We go from Big Ragu, ranked number 4 out of 19 cappers that we've had here on NFL Pub Hub, to our leader. Our leader, coming to us from South Jersey, has won every single time he's been on the show. 6 weeks, weeks 2, 4, 7, 8, 9, and 10. He's won every single time. He's sitting here 16-5 plus 11.83 units, and he's been absolutely spectacular, our leader. But only up a little over a unit on second place, so he's got to keep winning. Please welcome to the show from South Jersey, Billy Brisbane in the house. Brizzy, how are you, my man?
I'm doing good, man. I'm excited for this card. Last week was like a card we had to get through. This week actually has some spots. I'm ready to go.
Let's go then. We start Commanders Texans Energy Stadium in Houston, Texas for you. And this isn't a side or total. You are moving to the prop market, I believe. So take it away. Can't wait to hear it.
Yeah, back to the anytime touchdown props. We are going with Brian Robinson, anytime touchdown. He gets a great matchup versus the Texans, who allow the most rushing yards to the running back position and rank 29th in opponent yards per rush attempt. I expect them to have a similar rush attack that they had against the Eagles, where Robinson had 26 touches. He's had at least 4 red zone rushes in 3 of his last 5 games, with Houston allowing 1.5 touchdowns per game to the RB position. This play at plus money is one of my favorites of the week.
And this one was at what, plus 130?
Plus 135 on FanDuel.
Plus 135 for Robinson. Anytime touchdown. Big shout out to Jimmy the Drunk. Good man. A good man. A man after my own heart. Thank you so much for Dono, giving the dono on the greatness of our Billy Brisbane. Thank you, Jimmy. It means a ton to us. Thank you so much for your support. Robinson, anytime touchdown is how our leader, Billy Brisbane, who was also leading most of last year till he was usurped late by the Big Ragu, and sitting here 16-5. Robinson, anytime touchdown. Let's move on to your next spot here, and this is Lions-Giants. Lions-Giants, and I believe, I'm going to go back to this again. I believe this is not a spot for a player prop. You are moving towards a side. Take it away. You haven't given us many sides, but you've cashed when you have. MetLife Stadium, East Rutherford, New Jersey. Floor is yours.
Yeah, we're going to take the New York Giants -3, -115. I'm rocking with my guy, Big Ragu, man. I like this, what he was talking about last. I'm not going to give you too much here, but the Lions, I feel like, reached their pinnacle of the season on a 2-game winning streak. I think this has given us bettors a really good line. I think the Giants deserve more respect, 7-2 ATS this season. Even though the Lions have been good on the road ATS this season, I think Barkley should be able to control the game here. I think the Giants at -3 is a very low line. I think it should be at like 6 to 7 points, but here it is at 3 at -115, so I'm going to make it official.
The Giants, and I think we can get you a better number than that. Let me just quickly take a look here. I can give you -3 and -107 for you. The Giants, aside from Brizzy, Giants -3 at -107. You are locked in. Next up for you, we head to Empower Field at Mile High. Raiders, Broncos. And I'm very interested in your player prop in this one. I'm pretty uncomfortable about my under in this one. Take it away for us, Brizzy. Raiders, Broncos.
Yeah, favorite prop of the day. We're going to go with Josh Jacobs anytime touchdown at +120. Jacobs has historically dominated this divisional matchup versus the Broncos. In 6 career games, he's had 612 rushing yards and 9 touchdowns. Earlier this season when they played, he had 144 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns. He scored 5 out of 6 career games versus the Broncos and 2 touchdowns in 4 of those games. So Josh Jacobs anytime touchdown at plus money is the way we're going to go here.
2 anytime touchdowns at plus money. Robinson at +135. Jacobs at +120. And the Giants -3 at -107. We have our guy Brizzy aiming to have a winning card for a 7th consecutive week to start out the show. It's very, very impressive, Brizzy. Are you able to hang with us on Sunday night for our live bet stream?
Yeah, more than likely, yes.
Beautiful. Okay, dope. We love having you on the Sunday night live bet stream. There he is, Brizzy. Follow him on Twitter at getting_bills_. Get that cash, man. You've been elite. Your capping has been elite. Any last words for the cappers supporting the show?
Quick question. Are we doing anything for Thanksgiving next week for pop-up?
For the day for Thursday's action? Well, we have, of course, CMAC doing the live bet stream on the Thursday. So I guess CMAC can pick whatever. I guess the problem is CMAC's got the college basketball show at 5, so it's probably the night game. But good question. We should think in on that and see what we can do. I mean, I've got my morning show, but I could just turn my morning show into a live bet stream if that's what people wanted.
Yeah, I have no idea. I just wanted to throw that one out there in the air. Maybe the chat says something about it, but don't want to go too long here.
Much love, Brizzy. We love your work. There he is, Billy of Brisbane. We have our final guest, Connor Mack, going to be joining us shortly. We are 28 minutes here from kickoff. So let's review all action right now. For me, the 2 spots that I wanted to add, I've got cold feet on them. I only have 5 bets left on the week now with my change of venue avoided bet here. There's our guy CMAC loading up here. There he is, right there, and he just fires right on. It's a gift and a curse for CMAC that he fires immediately on, but we love it. We love it. I don't get to give him the proper intro that he deserves. Make it a Mac Daddy, our headliner today on our NFL Pub Hub. You've had a busy week, my man. How are you today?
I'm tired, but it's just the norm, this time of year. As soon as we get done here, I have already got a college basketball, but I will be deep into that as I watch football.
I love it. You guys have been doing great work on both college football and college basketball. Let's get to work here, CMAC, my man. You start with Jets Patriots as well, and we've talked a lot about this game. We've had only Jets action and 1 under, and I'm using the Patriots in the cappers contest. I was thinking of betting them, but I have not been given confidence from anybody here to do that. What are you doing here, CMAC? Take it away, Gillette Stadium.
Well, obviously, I don't mind your under. I was on that under a few weeks ago. A lot of field goals in good weather, stayed under. Bad weather here. I still like this play because Mac Jones in there, they're obviously not going deep. They love to dump it off to Stevenson. He's going to run it, of course. But I'm on his over, 3.5 receptions. This guy's been money to it. Last week, he only had 3 for 10. But last time with the Jets, 7 for 72. He has 43 receptions on the year, 8 for 59, 4 for 15. Give him over 3.5. I got +108. I even see +110s out there, I think, because of this win. I think he gets 4. He gets dump downs all day from Mac Jones, who does not want to go deep.
Well, let's lock it in for you here. So Ramondre Stevenson. Lock it in here. If you had a free bet on the 3.5 side-wise, free $500 bet, what side do you take?
I wouldn't take the side. I don't love the hook. I think the Pats win. I just don't.
The hook
division
is,
game. In a division game, 3.5. This could be a field goal. Wilson was so bad in that second half. I mean, all those picks. What was it? 3 in the third quarter? It just kind of flipped everything. Can that happen again? Maybe interceptions. The devil, especially with a guy who's been pretty good all year, though, Jimmy and Wilson. Other than that quarter.
Yeah, no, it was wild. It was wild. 19-mile-per-hour wind. I like your look on Ramondre. Let's move on to the next spot on the board for you, Bears, Falcons. And again, you are moving to a prop. Take it away for us.
This is simple here. I'm taking Fields. I got plus 115. This guy's just been scoring touchdowns. So I'm taking his anytime touchdown. You know what? I've pondered his yards here. Falcons have been good against QBs, but they haven't faced anyone like Fields. They haven't even faced Hurts or Kyler Murray or anything like that. I still think he gets over that. It's just you're paying a premium now, here at 68.5, where he's gone over this, though. 4 of the last 5? I mean, the last 2, it's been 150. I'm going to stay off on the end. I think he gets it, but I'm just going with his anytime here. I want the plus money.
Fields plus 115. I understand why you would get some cold feet after he's been smashing the yards every week over and over and over again. I completely get why you would focus on a plus money spot with the touchdown. Let's move on to your next spot on the board. It involves the Commanders, Texans at Energy Stadium in Houston, Texas. C-Mac, take it away.
It's the same as my guy. Just while I was back here, Billy Briz, my guy. Robinson, anytime touchdown. I only got one plus 130. Shout out to him with the 135. I think he scores here. And you know what, Jimmy? I took it just a little bit ago, about a couple hours ago, actually, right before I sent that afterwards. I'm taking Robinson. The Texans are so bad, worse in fantasy. Like Billy said, 1.5 TDs. So I think he gets over. I think he gets a load, maybe not 26 like the Eagle carries, but I think he gets 18, 15 to 20. And I think he gets over. I got 63.5 minus 110. I think he gets there. I think he gets over.
Over 63.5.
Texans dead last.
Yeah.
Gets
and
the
he's
run.
been getting better every week. Every week he's been looking stronger and stronger. And we know why.
Better. Yeah.
In the exhibition season, he looked like a monster. Then he gets shot twice.
And then
So I mean, it's easy to explain what's happened to him this season, and now every week he's looked stronger and stronger and stronger. Over 63.5. Billy Brisbane on the touchdown with him. And remember what happens when these cappers correlate on their action. The ROI is just unreal. It's very, very, very high, and they're both on the Robinson anytime touchdown at plus 130. And Robinson,
real quick,
yeah.
Sorry, no, my bad. I didn't mean to finish you. I was very close to a Jacobs touchdown because of that plus money. So shout out to Billy. I think that could get there. That's just too juicy. He's ran well against the Broncos. So shout out to him with that one as well.
I love it. Let's move on for you, C-Mac. We still have time. We don't need to rush. We're 22 minutes away from kickoff, and I don't think I'm adding anything now. Again, I get the opportunity to live bet tonight's Sunday nighter, Chiefs, Chargers, and our man C-Mac is closing out his card with that game, so we can talk about it. But let's go to 425 here. Cowboys, Vikings, US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Take it away.
Player prop for me here. This was a little bit of a spin than I thought it would be. Ed Pollard sitting at 43.5. I'm on the over here. Vikings have been middle of the pack, 118 against the run. They've given up more the last couple. Commanders 140, Bills had 150. Obviously, that's Allen. But Pollard, and this number's crazy. So they announced Zeke in, so I thought there could be some change. But then right away they say he's not going to play, which I thought. That's why I grabbed the 40. This has jumped to 53.5. Basically a lot of places or higher. It's moved way up. So he gets way more snaps. He was getting this easy no matter what. I was shocked it was this low. I think they thought he was going to split carries evenly. I don't even know what they were thinking here, but over 43.5 is what I got. I believe it was minus 110. It might have been minus 115. What did I send you, Jim? Do you remember?
Yeah, I have it at minus 110. Did you say Zeke's not in?
No, he's in.
Okay. So
he is in. He's just very limited. And then they came right out and said that, like he's going to play some limited snaps, but he still went up to 53.5, which I kind of thought. I was just wondering where it might move a little bit, but at 43, I thought it was way too low. TD's solid too. Was that who said that? Wham or Spence? I don't mind that either.
Yeah, Loopy, our guy Loopy too. Pollard touchdown is what he's.
Oh, okay, Loopy.
Can I ask your thoughts on the side in Cowboys Vikings?
This game was when has this ever been? I mean, I couldn't even think of, Jimmy, an 8-1 team. Your starting quarterback's been good. I mean, off the crazy win, and they're a dog at home. Man, if there's ever just been fish. If you've been on the Vikings, how can you not? And that's why the public loves this. They're just like, this is Vikings easily. Cowboys coming off that bad loss after the big lead, the 2-touchdown lead in Green Bay. Just, I don't know. I think the Vikings can win it. It was just smelly to me, so I stayed off. There should be points. I don't love these defenses. The Cowboys have been sliding a little bit. Vikings, I don't find that great, so I wouldn't mind the over. So, but Tricky, are you on the over?
I'm on the over. I'm on the over 47. I didn't get that 47. Okay. When I went to bed after the show on Tuesday night, it moved to 47.5. But now I'm looking at my card, and I'm sitting here, and I only have Steelers plus 4.5 at the 1 o'clock slate. I mean, I couldn't. It's been 5-6 years since I've had one bet on the 1 o'clock slate, but I just feel like I don't want to push it here. But I've got a lot of afternoon action, so at least I can put some more foam up in this bullshit fucking thing, so I can hear my children screaming. Let's move on to the last spot on the board for you. Oh, and AB saying the Steelers are at 4 o'clock. Jesus, are they? I don't have a single bet at 1 p.m. What am I supposed to do? Watch Qatar highlights? Yeah. Fuck. Jesus. Okay, that's okay. I gotta let that go. I can't get involved in that. That has not happened in the 5 years of me doing this public, not having a bet on the 1 o'clock slate. My over in the Bills game was voided. Let's move on to the next spot on Noli No says drop the purse, bet the Jets under. Oh God.
I like it.
Yeah. Oh God. All right, let's move on to the final spot on the card for you, T-Mac. Chiefs, Chargers. Chiefs 7-2, 3-1 on the road. Chargers 5-4, 2-2 at home. We're at SoFi Stadium, and what we have seen here is cash coming in on the Chargers, or the market respecting the cash, I should say. Let's go over everything because we haven't talked about this spot. This is our Sunday nighter tonight. C-Mac, I know you've been so busy, but if you get a chance to jump on with us, we'd love to have you. Let's go over the line history here. It opens up with the Chargers plus 6.5, and the Chargers are down to plus 5. A ton of money coming in on the Chargers. This total is fired up, 49.5, all the way up to 52.5. Wow. 54% of the tickets, 74% of the cash on Herbert and the Chargers. And then you have 30% of the tickets, 83% of the cash on the under. And it's gone up to 52.5. I mean, that's just, it's crazy. I mean, what they're just saying, we'll take all of the under money. We'll give you even a better number and even a better number. That's wild. I can't wait to hear your breakdown here because we will be betting this live right here on Pub Sports Radio. And we came off a huge Sunday, Monday. It was our best Sunday, Monday of live betting last week. So we need to carry that over, keep that confidence going. Take it away for us, C-Mac. Chiefs, Chargers.
Yeah, I'm on the Chargers here. They're not that they're, have a crazy home field in this one. They just play the Chiefs tough. They beat them last year, 30-24. Then they lost, I believe, by 6 or 7. 6. And then they got the back door this year. You know what? This number is right there, Jimmy. This is moved to 52.5. That one score just stayed under by a point, right? That first game. I believe it was 27-24 with that back door. So this total is so interesting to me. Chargers want to go on these long drives. You want to keep the ball out of Mahomes' hands. But, I get why people want the over in this one, especially when it was at 50. But maybe this gets too high, just at 52.5, that it could just stay under again. I don't know. I'm not going to fuck with the total in this one. Just give me the Chargers. Division game, home dog. It's not a touchdown, but give me the 5.5 with the Chargers here.
And the 5.5 is widely available. I know I gave you the pinnacle line moving to 5, but the 5.5 is widely available at -110. And what am I talking about? Sorry, I just lack of sleep for me. I do have 1 p.m. action, which was just mentioned to me. I've got 2 spots on it. I've got the under 39 in Rams New Orleans and the Rams team total under 16.5. Okay, I do have action. I do have some to focus on. CMAC, excellent work. Let's review all of CMAC's action here. He's on Ramondre Stevenson, anytime touchdown at +130. Justin Fields, anytime touchdown at +115. He's on Robinson, anytime touchdown at +130. And Robinson over 63.5 rush yards for the Commanders. Pollard over 43.5 rush yards for the Cowboys. And then he's on the Chargers +5.5. Sanka is on a Steelers, Cowboys, Chargers parlay. Let's hear from the chat. We have 14 minutes left before kickoff. Would love to hear best bets. I would love to hear best bets from you guys, hear what you guys are on. And Gravy Bets, being on the physically unable to bet list. I'm back. Love it, Gravy Bets. Welcome back. Welcome back.
I've never heard that, but I like it.
Yeah, no, I know that list does exist. Because I get it. Respect, man. Great to have you back in action. CMAC, I like your action a lot today. Love the plus lines all over the place. Plus lines littered the board. Excellent work. And look forward to seeing these cash for you, my man. What's going on for you? You have the big show tomorrow for our college football and then college basketball at 5 p.m. So you have the college book hitting the books at 1 p.m. We're the first out to the market, Pub Sports Radio, for all of the college games, first to the market, and then 5 p.m. Net profits. So you got a huge day tomorrow. Anything you want to let the chat know about for this week coming up?
No, college football is ending. I hope you guys like it. I love doing those Monday shows. It's helped me out. We've been killing it. I've had one bad, shitty week. It's been really good. And yesterday afternoon was really good, and evening. And yeah, college basketball, of course. Starting to feel a little bit. I mean, it really takes me till football ends, but I'm feeling it. And obviously, I love it. I love capping college basketball. Real quick, I wanted to mention this would have been on my card. I still even like it at 6.5. I'm on the Colts. 7.5. The contest I put 7. I got it at 7. I really like the Colts. There's one prop I might send to you later. Judy's out. There's the receiving core for this Broncos team. Weather's not that bad there in Denver. It's a pretty nice day. Sutton has had a bunch of bad weeks. Last week he had 6 catches. His 4.5 -110. I'm looking at. I might send that to you and play that one for the afternoon. And his yards at 61.5. There's really no one to throw to, and that Raider defense is not very good. So I'm looking at that one. So I might play it. Send it to you.
I love it. Sutton.
Okay.
Yeah. Perfect, because you talked about it on the show, so it's perfect. So I'll keep my eye out for it. Sutton, but you're not making the Colts official.
No. Yeah. I mean, I still like it at 6.5. A lot. The 7 is where I got it.
Yeah, no, I feel you. Absolutely. A quick question from Rocco, Wake Forest basketball today. Wake Forest, Marymount, Loyola Marymount. Any thoughts on that spot? Have you looked at it?
Yeah, I've only looked at a little bit. Like I said, I'm going to go into everything after this. I don't know. I haven't been crazy. Wake's been pretty good. But they have a lot to do on defense for me. So I'm off right now. I didn't bet that game. So
Rocco looking
good
at
luck
Wake.
if he's on Wake.
He's looking at Wake Forest first half. Wake Forest first half. Spectacular work.
I'm sure you can add, that's a cab look, I guarantee you. So I'm sure you can ask him. He'll give you all the pumped up advice on a Wake Forest first half.
I love it, man. Love having you on the show. Thank you for closing it out for us, CMAC. I'm going to review everybody's action. Thank you so much for rolling with us. I know you have so much work this time of year. So great stuff. And thank you for making the time for us.
Of course. Love coming on here so much, Jimmy. And shout out to the chat. As I always say, best goddamn chat in the goddamn game. I will leave it to you, my man. Hit them all up. Do your thing. Thank you so much for having me. closing out, brother.
Our pleasure.
I'll message you.
Cool, man. Absolutely our pleasure, my man. Let's review all action again. I have Rams, Saints under 39, Rams team total under 16.5. I'm a little nervous about that. I'm a little nervous about my Raiders, Denver under 41.5. Dallas, Minnesota over 47.5. I'm pretty confident in. And then Steelers plus 4.5. I'm pretty confident in watching the line move in my favor. I was thinking of adding the Broncos and Patriots. I'm not going to. It's circa millions. We cashed the Titans plus 3.5. We have 4 games left. Broncos minus 2.5, Giants minus 3, Bears plus 3, and Chiefs minus 5.5. We are 28, 21, and 2 right now. Jose Bouquet made his debut here on the show. He went with Jets plus 3.5 and the Jets money line plus 161. He went with Falcons minus 3 at plus 110 and the under 49 minus 112. Steelers plus 3.5 minus 107 and the Steelers money line. Mike M's pimp slap play of the day. We know the success that's had is on the Bears plus 3. Then Alec, our guy, Alec, making his debut here on NFL Pub Up from Bettor's Bet. He's on the Bears plus 2.5 plus 101, Jets plus 3.5 minus 108, Bills first quarter minus 2.5, first half minus 4.5, over 41.5 in Carolina, Baltimore, and he's on Washington Texans under 41 at minus 105. Dami Gunrici came on, also moved on the Bears plus 3 at minus 123, Jets plus 3.5 minus 108, Wilson over 10.5 rush yards. Cowboys minus 118, Steelers plus 3.5 at minus 107, and the Ravens first half minus 7, minus 106. Then Spenny Penny Bombs joined us. He is on the Giants minus 3. By the way, Brian McNulty saying first play of the game will be a run in Jets Patriots minus 140. Says same with the Lions Giants. Too cold and windy to throw. I love it. Giants minus 3 for Spenny. Spenny 9-4 on the show. Giants minus 3 at minus 105. Browns plus 8 minus 110. Chubb over 74.5 rush yards. Raiders plus 3 at minus 118 and the money line plus 130. Gallup over 3.5 receptions at plus 100. Anytime touchdown plus 220. Birdie joined us. He moved on the Jets plus 3.5. Commanders minus 2.5. Falcons minus 2.5. Cole Kmet anytime touchdown plus 250. Bengals minus 3. Cowboys minus 1.5. And he put together a Washington Bengals Cowboy money line parlay. And I should do that right now, actually. I'll do that when the show's over. But it's the Commanders, Bengals, Cowboys money line parlay. He's also on the Browns money line at plus 311. Wow, it's a big balls bet. Big balls bet. And he's on the Niners minus 8. Big Ragu joined us. He's fresh off 3 really big shows here with us. He's on the under 38 and Jets Patriots. And Noli knows telling me to bet it immediately. He's on the Giants minus 3 at minus 108. We heard nobody on the lines, which surprises me. Over 48.5 in Bears, Falcons, Vikings money line plus 113. He gave us the teaser, Texans plus 9, Eagles minus 0.5. Then we have Robinson anytime touchdown from Billy Brisbane, Giants minus 3, and Jacobs anytime touchdown plus 120. And then CMAC closed up our show with Ramondre Stevenson plus 130, Fields anytime touchdown at plus 115, Robinson anytime touchdown at plus 130, and Robinson over 63.5 rush yards at minus 110, Pollard over 43.5 rush yards at minus 110, and the Chargers plus 5.5. He could be looking at a Cortland Sutton prop. He's going to be studying that a little bit more. Thank you guys so much for joining us here at Pub Sports Radio. Thank you to our producer, Jose Bouquet, who does such a great job with all the graphics and all the information. And I sent it to him pretty late today. He does such a great job. Alec, great job making your debut here. AEOD, not applicable. Loopy, Nunya, Bananas and Grapes. Sterling Gentry on Giants Moneyline, Saquon, anytime touchdown. Mark, Nick, Brian McNulty, Mike, Ryan, Thorson, Viper, Blitzer, Bobby, Dana, Delp, The Gas Report, Gerald Jones, Rocco Rogers, Spenny Petty Bombs, who was on the show, Jake Kaiser, Cheshire Cat, Mike M, Craig Wood, Gerald Jones, Sanka, Nick Peppard. Thank you guys so much for rolling with us. Dami Gun Ricci, you were great. Gravy Betts back in action. Carlife of Von Polo in the house. Thank you all. AB, Stevenson over 3.5 receptions. Was it Stevenson over 3.5 receptions? Did I screw that up? Because I had Stevenson anytime. Oh, you're right. It was over 3.5 receptions at plus 108. Jesus. Thank you, AB. Wow. I was screwing that up the whole time. It was Stevenson over 3.5 receptions. God, good work. I have it here on my phone, but sorry, you got it there. Man, good thing I was giving shouts out. AB, thank you for saving that for us, man. That would have messed me up in a big way for my counting. Thank you guys all so much. Let's have a giant week 11. Let's go in there and get that cash and then join us tonight, baby. Tonight. What a game we have. Chiefs, Chargers, SoFi. And we were awesome last week live betting. Let's carry that over. I love the opportunity to cap with you guys. And thank you for supporting us here on Pub Sports Radio. Now let's go out there and get that fucking cheese, man. Let's get that fucking cheddar. Let's